Hi, this is Sasha. You're watching another Saasu training video. Today we'll be going through bank feeds and generally how to best match your bank feeds to your Saasu transactions. The first thing we're going to do is go to the bank feeds page, which is via Automate Bank Feeds. Now the first page that loads would be the bank account that you have selected as the default view bank accounts. And by clicking into the particular bank account, you can select whether it's a default bank and therefore will show up when you first go to the bank feeds page. Now you can see there's a few transactions we can work with today, and you can also see that I've gone in and edited the summary for training purposes just to make it a lot easier. Now, if you do not wish to do this, you can simply click on the revert and that will just revert it back to the original transaction. But for today's purposes, I'm going to edit them to something shorter. Okay, so let's go through the 4 different options we can encounter in bank feeds. The first one is we can create an invoice from the bank feeds page, and to do this we hit the plus sign and we select the appropriate invoice. Now, according to my description, this is an insurance fee, so it's therefore an expense, and as expenses we will be putting through a service purchase. And here we'll put through expense, and we can look through all our expenses until we find the correct expense account. So for insurance fees, we have an expense account for that. So I select this. Now the contact, we can put in our insurance company, or we can create a new contact. So in this case, I'm going to create a new contact. So hit the plus sign, and I'll just simply fill this in very, very quickly. I could also at this stage put in a tag. I could use fees. So when I run a report such as the profit and loss, I can filter that report based on these particular tags such as fees. There will be a training video on tags sometime in the near future, so keep a watch out for that. Okay, so then I'll select create service purchase with payment. So I hit save, and that payment will now disappear from the list, and that indicates that I've created an invoice. Now to view this invoice, I go to purchases and change the filter to all. I might just change the date range as well. Now hit show, and we should find there's a GIO invoice. Now if we can go into it, and you'll see that it's actually pulled through the description across. So I might just get rid of the no invoice because that was for training purposes. And now hit save and close. Now we see here there is an existing invoice that's overdue, and it's for the amount of $174.32. And I remember seeing this figure back in the bank feeds page. But if you go back to the bank feeds page, you will see that $174.32 does not have a suggestion. If we do a search for unpaid purchases, because the invoice is currently outstanding, and I'm going to filter the date to just a bit further on, we should be able to find this invoice, $174.32. So all we need to do is hit the box, and we can say reconcile against selected. Now, I won't actually be doing this because the invoice should actually come up as a suggestion. And the reason why it's not coming up as a suggestion is because I'll just cancel out of there. So I'll go back to purchases, and I'll show you. The reason is because the date of the invoice creation is later than the due date. So if I change this date, say to the 16th, let's just say a week before it's due, and I'll hit save and close. So under payments, still nothing paid. So I'll hit save and close. Okay. I'll go back to the bank feeds page. and you will see now there's a suggestion. So the suggestion would only work if the invoice has been created where the invoice date and the due dates are either on the same dates or one is before the other. And we know that this is the correct invoice to payment, as it's both from AGL. So all we simply do is hit the tick, and again that will take it from the list, and we can work through the rest of the list. Next one I'm going to show is how to post to a journal entry via the bank feeds page. So let's look at the ATM cash, which is usually petty cash, and we simply hit the plus sign, select journal. We can leave that blank, and we can put in petty cash as an asset. We can choose to put in a tax code or leave it blank, and you'll see that it's automatically created the first half of the journal entry. So I hit create journal entry, and that will remove it from the list. And to view this entry, simply click view, journals, and we'll find the $60 entry here. Okay, so going back to the bank feeds. Now the last thing we're going to look at today is bank transfers. And this bank transfer is a $200 withdrawal from my trading account into my savings account. So we just have to make sure that the savings account has this transaction as well. So we'll see here, it's a $200 deposit on the 16th of July. So we can either work in this account or we can work in the trading account. So what we do is we create, so click on the plus sign, a bank transfer. So this is a withdrawal amount, and we're going to choose the savings account and put in a tag, and we'll just hit create bank transfer. Okay, so that's removed that entry from the trading account. Now, if we go to the savings account, there should be a suggestion, and all we need to do is hit the tick, and that will match the transactions. Now, to view your bank transfers, simply click view, and then click bank transfers under banking. And you will see the description of the transfer and the amount.